guessing. I really don't know what I'm talking about, but on the other hand, I'm usually at my best when I... Well, now all that glass, that panel looks shattered. Walk down this street, which would be where the rest of that rectangular outline was, and this probably reflects that right here. These inlaid stones. Here we're at the far end of that rectangular area, and this may be the wall going from left to right. I have the mental ability to fathom out what each of these chunks is, but this is large, like it might have been a tower. And there's another such area there, so let me go on to the other side and look back. Too hard to figure out. So there is the wall, and there you can see the wall traversing right across there and jogging right here. I can look at that map, which we will. Looks like there was a large rectangular area here and there, which may have been two buildings that formed an interior gate. Going to our right further, I'm going to go back down to the end of this wall on the interior of the fortress and start again. Okay, we didn't get too far back down. Behind the wall there you can see some of the earlier towers we saw. Which one, I don't know. This is a pretty quiet back street here. I assume we can climb up on that wall. And I may just do that. So now we'll walk back up towards the gate in Barbican, just so we've seen what we can see. All these structures we see here, of course, have been built in later days. However, probably there was always something here. If not a house or a shop or warehouse, then those kiosks. Here's a look into an old building that may actually be authentic. And some of us think we have problems. Good luck to you, girl. This is pretty funky looking, so we're going to walk down it. It's not the wall, but it might have been of that era, or it might have been connected to it somehow. 1255. Now you think those are horses clip-clopping down there? Not. They're tourists dragging their bags. So you can see that this whole area that I'm in right now is old. What it was for, I don't know. Whether it was part of the infrastructure of the wall, can't tell. Right and wrong again at the same time. No surprise. Here's some interesting rock work from the past. Again, what they were, I have no idea. They seem too large to have been coffin covers on the floor of churches. So I don't know. And there's not much left of them because of deterioration. But this symbology was important to somebody at one time. Maybe this is a coat of arms. I just don't know. A little bit clear. It looks like a shield. These tombstones are from the Church of St. Catherine of Alexandria, to the Magistrate of Tallinn, the Brotherhood of the Blackheads, the Great Guild, and others. Mid-19th century, the date of these tombstones. 1874, the Burgomaster of Tallinn used some of the better preserved tombstones for paving the floor of the barn installed in the ruins of the church. Now there, it's heresy and hypocrisy mixed together. Beautiful. Love it. Some of these go back to the second half of the 14th century. I believe we've been walking alongside of the remains of that St. Catherine's Church. They say the stub of the church rose much higher in its day. Now we're inside town looking out through those gates, standing in what would have been the interior of that, I think they call it a barbican. I'm getting confused by the use of that term, however, the large rectangular area. That hotel in the background may be the old Soviet hotel, and if so, it was built with micro-concrete. That means a mix of microphones and concrete. That looks authentic, and maybe it is. It just doesn't seem to be. I think it's a new construct. Up into this park in case there's more for us to discover there. There is. Towers from 1900 to 1910. Snow we saw that we climbed up onto behind the towers is called the Kissing Hill because others there are two sculptures, the moment before the kiss and the moment after the kiss. I'm guessing this is the before, but not that experienced, I don't really know. Once again, I'm unable to determine which is which, although the sign would probably tell me if it were in English. A gazebo. Construction going on in that area. Also a little park, but one wonders what that huge building is there. Entry gate to our right, so I'm going to continue behind me direction just to see if there's any remnant of the wall further up here. And that the curve in this road probably was a consequence of the wall, but I don't know that. It's fun to walk streets that tourists don't go to though. Although these folks hope I'm wrong. And still searching for tidbits of interest. This magnificent entry door. Just a cute little intersection. Probably quite a nifty place in its day. But even still it retains some hint of that with these irregular intersections. Draws people to the street, I don't know. Because it all seems like locals. Except for the bars, which may again draw a local crowd, but something a little broader than that. That street behind me, and having seen nothing, I look up ahead and there seems to be a square tower ahead, so we'll go look at that after we get some park art. A lady came up here and touched the nose, and touched one of the buttons, which are shiny, and I smiled at her, and in her Baltic way, she gave the slightest hint of a recognition smile. It's a square tower on our left side and another round tower on our right. And if I pan past this cypress, whatever that is, you can see a park and a church. So the Freedom Square, I believe, is off to our left, and one of the central squares and the Tourist Information Center is off to our right. So that street is probably served by folks from this hotel who wander over for coffee in the morning. What tower this is, I don't know, but we'll find out shortly. Now, presumably these buildings either replace the wall or have it embedded in them. The answer to that's implied in the rest of the wall that we see continuing on. Those are interesting. It suggests that there was some kind of substantial wooden structure in front of this tower at one time. Guessing this wall has been retrofitted for businesses and modern uses. Although the gates certainly appear to be of some antiquity. A clue of what lies behind these walls, unless a building has torn down the wall. This building is built behind the wall, that they've even rocked up or closed off the firing ports. That's optimistic for the future. Is that these archways may have gone deeper, but I don't know that for sure. A bit surprised too that in the past people who somehow gained control of this chunk of real estate were able to excavate down, providing support for the wall and additional space for themselves. To orientate us from our jaunt to this point, there is where we started our free walking tour. Up there is where I first made my attempt to find a hostel replacement for where I am. And across that is Freedom Square, and over there is my old hostel, which I'll take the key back to now. This is a large tree that is just outside my room in my first hostel in Tallinn, which is I think where those windows are open in the lower right hand corner. Impressive tree, looks like it may be dead on this side. Leaning to the right, but its weight is to the left and towards me a little bit.